Okay, sorry we got cut off. I'm going to do a different type of stroke now. I'm just going to pick up the color and I'm going to show you another way that we can do the sky. Okay, it doesn't matter the color, but in this situation I'm going to use a cobalt blue, and ultramarine blue, and a tea white. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down my white on the paper. So I'm just going to do these large strokes just to show you. Okay, then in between I'm going to have these blues. And you see how I'm blending the blues with the whites? I'm just showing you this because some of you said, oh, I want to do this kind of Cezanne kind of idea. And then I'm going back with my white and I'm blending that, right? When we did it with watercolors in that little swatch, the only difference is we just had water. You see how you can see the difference now of these two different types of blues together, but they have this kind of soft kind of feeling? They're not running into each other. That's a different type of stroke. So those of you, TV land, can see it up close, okay? The other thing that you can do, so that's the first one we did was this kind of smooth gradation of the blue, blending it with the rag, again with the watercolor too, and the acrylic. This was using a large wash brush, first applying it like this and blending it like this, right? And this was blending it together, two different colors of soft gradation. And this is this idea of adding white to make it blend soft. The other thing is you can have a rougher stroke. Some of you like really rough strokes and you want the color to show, but you don't want as much blending. So when I'm doing that, what I do is I'm just kind of putting down the paint. I'm picking up the color, and you see how I'm doing these shapes of the strokes? Some of them are dragged. In other words, I can see that texture of that brush. Okay, I can see the texture. This is quite different from this. Now I'm going to show you something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same brush, I'm going to clean it, I'm going to wipe it off on my rag, and then I'm just going to blend it together, and I'm going to sweep over the colors lightly. Okay, and if I sweep over the colors lightly, I get this kind of effect. Now, this kind of effect is different from this. This has a lot of white in it, and it's opaque, and this has this loose area on top. With this color, I'm going to go on top with another different type of blue, and I can keep building those strokes on top of each other. You'll see this also in a lot of Impressionist water, where you'll see these negative spaces that might be white, and you can build up those colors directly on top of each other. They don't blend into each other, right? And they're loosely painted, but there's a lot of paint. Even with the watercolors, and if you want to blend them, you can totally change the look of them. I'm going to change the look of this 100% by going over it with a brush that's slightly damp, but doesn't have a lot of water in the brush. That's the trick, right? And I get these colors like that. That's a totally different thing. You have to look at your painting. So some of you gave me examples of Impressionist paintings, and you look at the painting as a whole. I don't want you to look at the painting as a whole. I want you to separate each area. So when we looked at the sky, I want you to take a little piece of the sky and then look at it real close at that Impressionist painting. And you'll see in this painting, we have a little bit of orange, we have green, and we have blue. Okay, so the thing is, that's why I want you to have an example of the type of Impressionist painting that you want to follow, because your realistic painting is going to have those similar kind of strokes in the sky, right? If you had a mountain area, you're going to follow those strokes. That's why it's important to have the colors down, as far as having your color swatches that we spoke about last week, and also all the different colors. So let's start again. I'm going to show you another example of something else you can do with your brush. I'm using a large brush so you can see, and I'm going to do it down here. And I'm just going to pick two colors that are out. I'm going to pick some yellow and some red. And this is a method where I'm not going to clean my brush. I'm going to pick up one color and then another color on top. So the first color I'm going to pick up is going to be yellow, and I have it on my brush. And then I'm going to also pick up red. You can do it on one side or the other side. A lot of impressionists do this where they put a stroke, and you see how lightly I drag that stroke? So you don't see the whole stroke, it kind of disappears. And it's practice where you're pulling it and you're putting other strokes on top. And then you're turning your brush around. You have one color on one side and one on the other. We spoke about this last week. And when you're picking up those colors, you can turn, you see I can turn my brush and I can blend it. I can get one color on one side and one color on the other. And I just make this look really thick all of a sudden by just putting one stroke and blending it and turning to the other side. And I get these thick layers of color on top of each other. Okay, this is important, and a lot of the because otherwise you'll just be having one color on top of another color. You see these colors blend, but they're not muddy on top of each other. It's very important that you try that with your brush. One color on one side, one color on the other. I'm going to show you something else where you can do it with the fan brush. So let me take some more yellow, acrylics. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my fan brush in the water, wipe it off. So this is my fan brush. Looks like a fan. Okay, and I'm going to put yellow, and then I have red. Okay, and it's kind of the same thing. I do this again where I want to get the strokes, but the difference is these strokes come out like this. So you see more of the line of the brush. These strokes are also important for the students that want to do, and I showed you this last week, but I didn't have the proper brush to do it. If you wanted to do, let's just say grass, I'm going to do it now. Okay, so I'm just picking up yellow, and then I'm picking up green. You can have it like that, where it blends all together in the same brush. Or we're just picking it up and we're going like this real fast, and then we're going with another color that's kind of in between, and then we can pick up a lighter color and keep doing it like that. Let's just pick up some white or any other color in between there. The fan brush also works if you're going across and you wanted to do the strokes across, or if you wanted to do the sky with two different colors. So for now, I want you to practice on a piece of paper that I gave you, the strokes that you're going to use in every different area of the painting, okay? So once you do this, you'll get, the next time you'll go a little bit faster. You'll say, okay, I know what I'm gonna be doing in my sky. So look at your sky again, kind of dissect it. Say if it's this kind of sky, I'm gonna start with the lightest color, which is gonna be a yellow, you see, and then I'm going to have these colors as my swatches. Maybe for you, it's going to be practicing putting down this kind of yellow, then a little bit of red on top, right? This is not an orange. This is a yellow, and then a red on top, especially for the watercolors. And then you're going to move into the blues and blend it. If not, you have light blue, dark blue. Some of you have grays bringing into your blues. I want you to practice that realistically, and then I want you to do it in the style that you wanted to do the Impressionist style, okay? So I'm going to walk around again and look at your Impressionist painting, and we're going to start with the sky. Then we're going to move to the other areas, and I'm going to show you how to do those strokes, okay? So in TV land, you're going to do your homework. I'll be back to you.